Hello, my dear students. Hope you all are well. Students, today we are going to start our geography second chapter inside our earth. Student, this chapter is divided into two parts. First, interior of the earth, and the second, rocks and minerals. In the first topic, interior of the earth, we will study about the formation of our earth and how it looks like from inside. So, let's start our first topic, interior of our earth. Student, do you know the inner structure of the earth and we compare to an onion? The inside of the earth cannot be understood by direct evidence because to find out the inner structure of the earth, we would have to go down right up to its center, and obviously that is not possible. So, geologists have observed the seismic or earthquake waves pattern to determine the structure of the earth. Thus, by the source, we come to know about the interior of the earth. The earth is an almost spherical body with a radius of 5,371 km. Just like an onion, the earth is made up of several concentric layers, with one inside another. We can divide our earth interior into three parts, which are crust, mantle, and core. So now we will see the structure of these three parts one by one. So first we will see the crust. What is crust? The crust is uppermost layer of the earth's surface is called the crust or the lithosphere. It is very thin. It is thicker in continents and thinner in the ocean beds. It is about 35 km on the continental mass and only 5 km on the oceanic floor. These characteristics of crust divide it into two parts, the continental crust and the oceanic crust. Continental crust is further divided into two layers. The lower dense layer made up of sima means Cr and magnesium, and the upper less dense layer made up of Cr, silica and aluminium. The upper layer consists of granitic rocks while the lower layer consists of basic rocks. The oceanic crust has only one layer of sima. It is made of basalt, which are known as igneous rocks. Just beneath the crust is the mantle, which extends up to a depth of 2,900 km below the crust. So, let's see the next layer, mantle. Student, mantle is a very thick layer which lies below the crust. It is made up of dense and heavy materials such as iron and magnesium. The upper mantle is in solid state and the lower mantle is in semi-molten condition. The temperature in this layer ranges between 870 degree centigrade in upper mantle to 2200 degrees centigrade in lower mantle. It is believed that there is constant movement in the mantle, with the cooler matter sinking down and the hotter metal forming the upper part of the mantle. The innermost layer of the earth is called the core. So let's see the third layer of the earth, which is core. Students, the core has a thickness of about 3500 km. It is divided into two parts, the inner core and the outer core. The inner core is under tremendous pressure and so it remains solid, but the outer core is molten. The temperature of outer core is 20 to 100 degrees centigrade and of the inner core is 5000 degrees centigrade. This layer is called Nife as its main components are nickel and ferrous. Students, as you all know, Earth was first a ball of fire. Gradually, the Earth cooled down and became our habitat. When it got cold, it gradually started to form many kinds of shapes, of which rocks were the main ones. What is rock and what does it look like? And how can we find out what rock it is? So, let's see our next topic, rocks and minerals. As you can see in the picture, the crust of the earth is made up of rocks and minerals. They have different shapes, sizes, and colors. Rocks include all the solid material of the earth's crust, whether it is hard like granite or soft like clay. These are made up of substance which we call minerals. Rocks can be formed of one or more than one material. They do not have a definite chemical composition. Basalt, sandstone, marble, slate, granite, etc. are the example of rocks. Rocks are classified into three chief groups. One, igneous rocks, second, sedimentary, and the third one is metamorphic rock. So first we will see the igneous rocks. The word igneous is derived from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. These rocks are associated with volcanic eruptions. These rocks are formed by cooling of the molten magma inside the earth's crust or on the earth's surface. They are also called primary rocks because all other rocks are directly or indirectly formed from igneous rocks. There are two types of igneous rocks, extrusive rocks and intrusive rocks. When the molten lava comes on the earth's surface and cools down rapidly on the crust, it forms extrusive igneous rocks. Such rocks have very fine grained structure. Basalt, andesites, and rhyolites are some examples of extrusive igneous rocks. These rocks contain small crystals. When molten magma cools down deep inside the Earth's crust, the cooling process is slow and the rocks so formed have large coarse grains. These are called intrusive igneous rocks. Granite and dolerite are examples of such rocks. These are also called as plutonic rocks. These rocks contain large crystals. But how we can identify the igneous rocks? So let's see. These rocks do not have layers and do not contain any fossils because they are formed by cooling and solidification of molten magma. Rock materials in which life form do not survive. Number 2. Igneous rocks are hard and compact. All igneous rocks are crystalline in nature. And the number 3. They are termed as primary rocks because other types of rocks are formed directly or indirectly from igneous rocks. Rocks roll down, crack, and hit each other and are broken down into small fragments. These smaller particles are called sediments. The word sedimentary is derived from a Latin word sedimenta, which means settled down. As the word implies, These rocks are formed due to aggregation and compactions of sediments, chiefly river sediments, rain, wind, running water, glaciers, and sea waves break igneous rocks into fragments. These fragments are called sediments. These sediments deposit on the floors of the seas, rivers, and lakes, layer upon layer. These sediments are compressed, hardened, and cemented together by their own weight to form layer of rocks called sedimentary rocks. Sandstone, shells, limestones, gypsum are some examples of sedimentary rocks. These rocks may also contain fossils of plants, animals, and other microorganisms that once lived on them. How we can find out the sedimentary rocks? So, here are some characteristics of sedimentary rocks. Number 1. These rocks are softer than igneous rocks and easily eroded. 2. These are made up of practices of various sizes. Number 3. They are generally formed under water. Number 4. They have a horizontal layered arrangement, one above the other. Hence, they are known as stratified rocks. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. For example, clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. So, let's see our third part of rocks, which is metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic means change or alter in form of nature. Change occurs both through physical and chemical metamorphism. Physical metamorphism brings about changes in appearance and texture. Chemical metamorphism brings about changes in chemical composition of the rocks. These rocks are formed when igneous or sedimentary rocks are transformed by the action of intense heat and pressure. It may take thousands of years in the process of metamorphism. So, how we can find out that these rocks are metamorphic rocks? So, let's see some characteristics of metamorphic rocks. These rocks are very hard and resistant rocks. They are formed due to the action of intense heat and high pressure on the igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. They are brought to the surface by internal movement of the earth. These are recrystallized rocks and have no empty space in them. Students, rocks are very useful to us. The hard rocks are used for making roads, houses, and buildings. You use stones in many games. For example, 7 stones, hopscotch, 5 stones, and many more games. Student, might be you will be surprised to knowing that one type of rock changes into another type under certain condition in a cycle manner. This process of transformation of the rock from one to another is known as the rock cycle, as I have shown in this picture. Rocks undergo a cycle of transformation. Igneous rocks can change into sedimentary rocks or into metamorphic rocks. In the same way, sedimentary rocks into igneous or metamorphic, and metamorphic into igneous and sedimentary rocks. Molten magma cools and solidifies to become igneous rocks. These are primary rocks or parent rocks from which all other rocks materials originate. Sedimentary rocks are formed by the erosion, transportation, deposition, and consolidation of sediments resulting from igneous rocks. Other sedimentary rocks or metamorphic rocks, heat and pressure changes igneous and sedimentary rocks to metamorphic rocks deep in the crust. Extreme heating leads to melting of rocks, forming new magma. This magma again cools and solidifies into igneous rocks, and this entire process is known as rock cycle. Students, as we know which rocks form by the rock cycle, they are having some uses. So, how the rocks are useful to us? See. Uses of rocks. Rocks are a storehouse of coal, petroleum, and natural gases. They are used in construction of buildings and roads. Cement, glass, clay, and sands are made from the sedimentary rocks. And the last, precious metals like gold, silver, and copper are found in the metamorphic rocks. Gems are also found in these rocks, which we are using in our daily life. Students, as we know, rocks are made up of different minerals. So, what are these minerals? We will see in our this topic, which is minerals. Students, in your upcoming classes, you will know more about the minerals, but here I am giving you a short introduction about the minerals. Students, minerals are naturally occurring materials present in rocks. They are natural inorganic compounds found in the earth's crust which contain one or more elements. They have a definite chemical composition and physical properties. Salt, iron, sulfate, aluminium, etc. are the example of minerals. Minerals are divided into metallic, silicate, sulfate, and carbonate. Minerals are very important to humankind. Some are used as fuel, for example, coal, natural gas, and petroleum. They are also used in industries, iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. In medicine, in fertilizers, etc. So, students, here the chapter inside our earth is complete. I will be back with some more interesting videos. So, till then, stay home, be safe, bye bye.